I'm a little congested, so it's not going to sound quite right. Important PSA. Be careful with butt plugs. One moment you're sitting there doing nothing, the next you're farting and you shot the cat.
Leave the cat out of it. What did the cat ever do to you and your butt plug?
Intro?
Do we have Addie? Here. Oh.
Just nobody was expecting that, like the Spanish Inquisition.
No.
Are we doing a formal start here, or are we just jumping in?
I'm feeling a little under the weather, so no. We're jumping in.
No. This whole game is going to be off. So when you feel sick, you go straight to butt plugs and you leave everything else out.
Let's blow up the sewer system.
I could always ask what the GM's not wearing.
Well, I'm not wearing a butt plug. Hey, folks. Welcome back to another episode of As a Wasteland Burns. Last with our group, we're going to go right to the most important situation, other than the fact that Snake's walking around in an exoskeleton in just a loincloth.
He's mooning everybody, and some of the ladies are enjoying it, and some of the men as well, but for the most part, cover up your eyes, kids.
That eye patch can go in a lot of different places right now. So
I'm surprised if he doesn't end up with any chafing or anything getting pinched, this will be a success. Phoenix, do you want to have Snake roll for it?
No. We'll get back to Snake. So,
are you sure?
Roll for chafing.
Yeah.
Roll for chafing.
We'll roll for chafing,
or for something unfortunate getting pinched.
Let's just blow that up slightly. So that's Bethany. Sam, you are looking at an older woman, relatively speaking. If you manage to live to your 40s, you're considered to be, old. Sitting there, small child is resting comfortably in her arms, and kind of looks up, looks over, looks at the both of you, and then she stands up and she gently places the child in the crib. Walking towards you, stops, kind of pats you on the cheek, grabs you by the balls, even though you're in armor, so not too much of a grip, and says, "Well," he looks at Beth and he goes, "Well, at least this one's not shooting blanks." Bethany turns several different shades of red. She's like, "Auntie," and the woman walks out, and all you can hear is the sound of a Zippo lighter, clicking as a cigarette or something is being lit up. The woman leaves the room. Bethany walks over to the crib and kind of motions you towards her.
I slowly walk over and I say, "What's her name?" Or what's the child's name? Have we confirmed whether it's a female or not?
It is a female. It is a girl. Okay. Yes. Yeah. And this Morpheus blob right here. What do you call it?
What is the name of the child?
So, I named her after my mother. Her name is Karen. My mother's name was Karen. Yeah, and she she's looking down. She's got that wistful look in her face. And
Phoenix, as a regular Reddit user, why did you go with Karen?
Because that happens to be the name right in front of me of the eyeglass case that I'm staring at.
Oh boy. Thank you.
Yep, you got it. Now, so make sure you write that down for when you send that random.
Bethany and Karen, Glenton Meadows.
And that random.
And make sure I mark who's the child and who's the mother.
Well, when you send the child support check, you can write for Karen in the memo line.
I do feel like you're just gonna have to start keeping a list.
Like, I only have one lady friend. I'm not like you and Saval.
Uh-huh.
That you know of.
You like to play with your guns way too much.
Looks at you and she's like, I realized, there's. She's trying not to get emotional, but she is. I realize there's nothing saying that you have to come back or to tie you to me.
It was always my plan to come back here at some point. This is the single best settlement we've been through that I've ever been through, and it has you here. I give her a toothy smile.
She reaches over, puts her arms around you, rests her head on your chest, and you can see that the kid's just sitting there, just blurbling away.
And they give Karen a little brother.
I'm sorry, I'm reading chat right now. Oh God, please take him. Karen needs a daddy, even if he isn't much good.
Now Sam can walk around and say, "Who's your daddy?"
Bam, you are the father.
Poor kid.
Next on Montel Williams.
There's my response.
The two of you spend some quality time just catching up. Nothing too.
Let's wait till Karen's at least a couple years old before we give her another sibling.
Hey, you.
It's the wasteland. You don't know.
You're lucky. Yeah, you guys are bucking the trend. And, the rest of the wastelanders are like, dude, the bell curve is like, at a peak right now.
Yeah, you guys actually better start right now. You can talk later.
Fair enough.
Okay, fine. So, over in the in the mess hall where the rest of the team has gathered, you're able to talk and pick up some gossip and everything like that. They haven't had much run-ins with the campus or any of the raiders in a while. It looks like the something has pulled their attention elsewhere.
One about it's everything going wrong in Okaville.
They don't know. They're not sure. Even the caravans are flowing again. They've dealt with people from here, or people have dealt with them from here. There's nothing. Nobody can put their finger on on what is what's changed, but something. There's been some sort of shift in power or whatnot since everything since the last time you've been here. Snake, with a little help, Johnny kind of helps you out of the suit. There's a similar rack that you found the exo frame in, and he's able to get he has to struggle for a bit because of the exertion, but he's able to get the hooks in to hoist the suit up, which allows you to step out. Make me a endurance survival roll. Yeah, make me an endurance survival roll.
All right.
Okay.
I was hoping it
So
complete
you're-
floored.
You are a little stiff. You can see that there are abrasions on your elbows and knee, thighs from where it rubbed against you. So even a light, even finding like a jumpsuit or something like that to wear underneath probably is the way to go. And from your few instances where you've looked at stuff and where you've seen people picking up armor and so forth in the group, that there are suits. There may not be anything available right now. I don't remember if Sally Sue sold some of the Wasteland suits, the vault suits off type of deal that you guys had access to.
We had vault suits?
Not vault suits per se, jumpsuits, I guess would be a better terminology.
I only have that one.
Yeah, the one. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a jumpsuit at the moment.
Oh, okay.
023 jumpsuit. Oh,
Why aren't
actually,
you wearing that?
actually, I was wearing that. Well,
Nice
I was
snake.
wearing that before I put the thing on.
No, you lost that when you were wading through sewage at the farm instead in Oakville.
Oh, all that stuff's gone a long time ago. I've had another one since.
Oh, really?
I knew somebody had one. I just couldn't
I
remember. I
know
thought it was
I-
Sally Sue or among her.
Sally
Yeah,
Sue,
her write-up.
I think has one, and I know I'm currently wearing another.
Yeah.
No, I've got it because it's the only thing giving me radiation resistance.
Okay.
And I had been missing that ever since that, dip in
Yeah,
radiation.
to get the trade-off was worth it, but or at least sorry from my point of view, the trade-off was worth it. But yeah, you did take a bit of a hit at that point.
All right, well, Donnie noted. I'll wear clothes maybe next time.
All the time.
Although
Yeah,
it was breezy, I feel refreshed.
I'm sure it was, and he's like looking at you, and he breathes into the apparatus he's got there, and he's like, I'm sure it was. The sand has a tendency to, open up your pores, and it does feel. And he's kind of embarrassed. He's like, it does feel good every once in a while the way it blows on you. It's like, I can't blame what you're doing, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's looking around. He's like, here, and he hands you a small, looks like a Mentat tin that has yeah. Well, that's we're not going to talk about where the sand and grit can get. But you're not a real man unless you have it underneath, inside certain folds. He hands you a small Mentat tin. He's like, here, rub this on, where do you, where it's all red and braided and such. It'll cool it off. Yeah. So yeah, and he hands the tin over to you. Take it. Do you look at him funny? Do you?
Yeah, look at the Mentat tin and then throw it in my bag. I'm sure it'll be useful another time.
Okay, fair
No, I
enough.
feel fine.
He said dinner is being served, so if you want to go grab that, or if you want to head over to the men's quarters and drop your stuff off, and
I'll give.
or just take a stroll through town.
Hey, I'll go get some food. But if you have any leads on like some chest armor, this chest armor that I've got is it's been hit up pretty bad.
Wow. And he holds it up, and you can see where he's. And again, he has the strength of a wet noodle. But where he presses on it, you can actually it's almost like his. You just watch it like spring back, and it shouldn't be doing that at all. It should be rigid all the way around. He's like, geez, I'll see what I can find. Apparently, we've switched over to the Spanish channel, and people are wondering, El Gato is in Mis Pantalones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I'll see what I can do. I don't think we have anything here that's even relatively comparable to this.
Okay, yeah, well, see what you can do. It's probably only got a little bit more in it, and I prefer to pummel my enemies to death, and it's just no good if I've got no protection.
I hear you. I understand. Okay. I'll see what I'll see what I can do.
Okay, all right, Snake will go get some food then.
Okay. Yep. So you're all meal's almost over, at least for you guys, people, and you see the back door open up, quite literally, and you see Snake saunter in.
I whistle.
I groan.
Go get some food and go sit down.
Okay.
Where's Sam?
With this girl.
And his daughter.
His daughter. He's got
Yeah,
a
you
kid.
learn that from talking to some of the other people.
Her name is Karen.
Probably a lot.
Yeah, you walk over. It's kind of cafeteria style. So you grab a tray and plate, and they load you up, and they're like,
Nice
Nope.
buns.
the one guy kind of just looks at you, looks down, taps the
No
ash
shirt,
off his
no pants, no shoes, no service. Get out of here.
he taps the ash off the cigarette that he's smoking while he's standing there shoveling stuff, and he's like, "Okay, not even going to ask."
Good.
And yes, you're not the Miss Gray. You're not the only one who lets out a couple whistles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Food is good. Food is filling compared to the canned food that it's good to have a nice hot cooked meal. So, everything's kind of winding down. Most people have gone on their separate ways. When you see Henry walk over and he kind of sits down at the table, and he's got two mugs in his hand, sits one down, pushes one over towards Miss Gray, and kind of reaches into his vest and pulls out a flask. And kind of after he unscrews it, he looks at you, with the would you like a hit type of deal.
Sure.
Okay, so he pours at least more than two fingers in, and then does the same thing to him.
I want some.
He kind of looks at you, and he over in your whatever cup that you have in front of you, he pours a little bit into.
Happy and excited.
Yeah. I've been hearing what you've been what you've been sharing with the others and whatnot. Is it truly as bad as what you're saying about Oakallville? The fighting and the disruption of trade.
Yes, something has definitely changed.
Have you had a chance to make it to the Powder Monks to talk with them?
We have been to the Powder Monks, but I think that was before we noticed the change in trade. We did help the Powder Monks become more independent.
Good. We're still waiting on. They haven't resumed their trade with us yet, but it's still early in the season. Still, gathering crops and gav runs as we need to. Good, good. You're all welcome to stay as long as you like. Yeah, you're well thought of here. Some cases, and he looks around. He doesn't see. Kind of, it's a scowl on family in some cases.
Feeling that I have a questionable topic.
He looks at you. Yes, Miss Gray.
What does he think is going on?
The fact that there are no convoys out there, or sorry, no caravans out there yet, and there should be something. They should have been chomping at the bit at the moment that the dust storms dropped. They should have been out on the road. Combined with the fact that I haven't seen any raiders. Something has everybody's attention drawn somewhere else.
Do you think the raiders are gathering, potentially?
If they are, the only way to find that out would be to head to to a satchel by his side. He pulls out an old map. So if you want to refresh. So, the area that I just pulsed 2, maybe 3 days from here. There's a spot where one of the underground rivers bubbles up to the surface. The water's relatively clean, sheltered, depending on, as long as nobody, it's neutral ground, if you will, since everybody needs water. But if there were people gathering, if there were any of them gathering, that would have been the spot. It would be. There's no other area around here that has the ability to sustain a large group. And again, his definition of a large group is 40, 50 people.
Does he know of anybody that would have the influence to gather all the raiders?
No. There's no talk of a warlord. Or at least, from the limited contact we've had with people out there, there's no talk of a warlord or anything like that. That's gathering all of them to his banner.
Interesting, because it does kind of feel like somebody may be doing that.
If they are, they have to be using tech or whatnot to be able to do it. We haven't heard anything on the radio. St. Louis is still broadcasting, so we get some of the reports coming in there, and things aren't going too well at that location. And we're kind of, I'm kind of glad that the problems in capital are staying in the capital. Under slightly with that. But beyond that, I haven't heard anything. There's been no contact with, we haven't seen many flights of the, COG vertibirds heading south. They still occasionally, we can hear them or see them in the distance flying that way, but the numbers that they sent that way have reduced. It's almost like the calm before an ash storm. The charge in the air, the hair standing on the back of your neck, the smell of the chems right before everything just burst open, dumps down. You know where you're heading next?
So we had talked about going to Mineton or Germantown. So the watering hole would be the opposite direction. Has he heard any news from either of those areas, those towns?
We've had one caravan come in from Mineton. They've weathered the season of dust rather well. They're in the process of still rebuilding from all the from what you guys have done and getting the captives back and the betrayal of their sec chief. Fills his glass back up again, but they had supplies to trade, and traded some weapons and armaments with them, in exchange for parts and such that we need to keep our camp going, our settlement going. He points out on the map. It's like if you're heading that way, there was a small mining or scav encampment there that was abandoned. There may be supplies, either spot. There may be supplies and gear that you can pick up there that were left behind. And of course, if you want to bring it back to us, gladly make it worth your while.
Okay.
You as a group know that this one here was abandoned as part of, when the robots were, air quote, collecting people for Bartelso. You're not sure about this one or that one, why they would be abandoned. Oh, and a word of warning, stay away from the Enchanted Forest. It's gotten bigger and weirder would be the only word.
That it only makes me more curious about it.
I agree with Sam on this one.
There's some things. There's something living within there. We know that much. And there are several strange bird-like creatures come out at night. Beyond that, it's encroached. Maybe a quarter of the overall town is now within its grasp. But he clangs his cup on the table. It's like getting late for me. I still have paperwork and my rounds to do. So rooms are available to you within the men's and women's quarters, unless some sort of dynamic has changed here within the group, in which case, there are private quarters that can be given to you.
Definitely not.
Oh, wait, hold on. I can have a private quarter?
Only if you're sleeping with one of these people at the table.
That's a negative.
He just shakes his head. Okay. Enjoy. Oh, and you've been drinking some sort of coffee. That's what he poured the whiskey into, except for Sally Sue, which was just was whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
Unless he's a death, it should better have been whiskey.
So Sally Sue's just she's like hot, unleaded. Everybody else is kind of like high octane. He gets up from the table, rolls the map up, slides it back into his case. Sabal, you were able to update your map accordingly, and he walks away. So, other than few of the people, the locals, cleaning up or whatnot, The place is pretty much everybody's going about their way. A couple more pots of coffee are put on for anybody who wants to stop in. You're left to unless you're left to your own devices unless there's somebody you want to talk to or something you want to do.
I want to kind of go.
Sam's in the middle of a family reunion, but if somebody wants to take the WL100 to Donnie, that would also be nice.
I want to find out more, like if Karen looks like.
Oh, you cut out there.
I want to find out if Karen looks like Sam.
She has my schnoz. She's definitely Sam's kid.
It was Gonzo, but Okay.
So cranky all day, really all night.
And enjoys firearms. Daddy's girl.
Okay.
No, we're starting small, teaching her how to field strip a rifle.
How old is this kid?
Maybe 6-7 months.
The old
Gotta
enough.
start early.
Picks her up and goes to change her. She can redecorate.
God, that's disgusting, but
But true.
I also want to ask around to find out, the likelihood is that
That cut out too.
I want to ask around and find out what the probability is that the community will keep Sam.
Sorry. Okay. Fair enough.
He's sort of resourceful.
Oh, Jesus. So, talking to different people as you walk around. How do you approach? Okay, let's take a step back. How do you approach them? Would you walk up? Hey, have you seen this person? You hold up a picture of Sam. If you have, would you like to keep him? How do you?
No, it's more along the line of that kid down there who doesn't have a dad. He's here. Do you want to keep him?
They kind of most of them seem to say yes. Most of them were like, yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
wonderful.
if it makes the captain's captain and the captain's kid happy. If the captain's happy, we're happy. The captain's happy.
Wait, she's a captain?
No, Henry. So that's
Henry.
his daughter, and so the fact that he
We were just talking to the granddad?
Yep.
Oh, poor guy. Does he know? Sam is the dad?
Yeah, he knows.
Okay, well,
I don't want to be around when that conversation happens. Yeah.
Well, he didn't kill us, so
Unless you slept with her too, I don't think that's going to happen.
no.
Didn't sleep with her, right?
I mean, I don't think so.
He's contemplating it.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I get off guard duty in about 20 minutes if you're free.
Wait, who am I talking to now?
That was Phoenix offering.
Yeah, game should be over in about an hour and a half.
If you guys both leave at the same time, you can probably meet around Baltimore.
I'll call ahead. I'll leave the lights on. You're talking to one of the guards that are making. She was heading out to make the rounds by the entrance, the back gate that leads up the hill. Oh, I'm sorry. I got to switch back over to the map.
I would like a private place to sleep, but I don't know that I'm interested. We don't need baby number 2 here in the community, so yeah, I'm going to pass on that for the moment.
You're lost. And she walks away. Sam, you're enjoying a small repast with Bethany, talking to you, and picking your brain, so to speak, as to where you've been, what you've seen. Going over your guns. Checking out the mods, making sure all the parts are there. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Does anybody take the laser rifle to Donnie?
Laser rifle.
Well, okay.
So that's what you get excited about?
It's not really a rifle. That thing is massive.
You're more
So-
excited about that than you are about
Well,
your baby mama.
He's saying his laser rifle's massive, so. Anybody?
I think that was Sam drooling on it, right?
Well, he's otherwise occupied, so it would be one
Well,
of the other.
apparently
Sam-
not. Not if there's a
Sam-
laser rifle available.
Sam is in the middle of a family reunion. If one of you wants to bring the WO100A to Donnie, that's your prerogative.
Yeah, definitely not doing that.
My hands are broken.
Fine, I'll take it.
He's like, oh, whatever. Okay, so you lead Milk Dud over to Donnie's place. Sitting out there on the porch, breathing into his respirator. He kind of looks up as you're approaching, and I'll move Milk Dud over there, and you guys can move your. He's like, kind of looks up, and he's like, what brings you here?
We have the WL100 for you.
They didn't say you found it.
Uh,
Please, bring it in. And he stands up and he stands up and he stops to catch his breath. He looks even frailer than when you have seen him before. But you can see that he's wearing some sort of makeshift exo frame on his from his waist down, and it seems that
realize,
What was that?
And realize this is me in third person. Remember that Milk Dud also has, or one of the Brahmin has some items that he specifically requested.
Yes. Yeah. That's. Yeah. There were. There were exo frame parts. There were power armor parts that you had retrieved when you were in Oakallville.
It really would be nice if the armor person was here to deal with the armor stuff.
Yeah, too bad he's having a family reunion.
Yep. So Saval, it takes both you and Miss Gray to carry it in. As I described, the case is huge. It's like the size of a couch. Or not quite as as long as, but not quite as thick. And he motions to a heavy slabbed workbench that has a few things on there, and he kind of just pushes them off to the side. Sit it down. He flips the lid, opens it, raises it up. There, laying across is the rifle, and you can just see, he kind of, lets out a Sam level gasp and a moan as he sees it. People thought this was lost.
we found it. So apparently not.
He chuckles at that. He's like, no. Thank you. Closes it up. And he points over to a spot in the room that is relatively clear, if you will. He said, if you can put that there, I'll need some time to review the manuals and such, get the weapon test fired and everything like that. But I should. He breathes into the apparatus, his rebreather. Like, I should be able to get another one built for you, as promised. No, I'm very, very grateful for this. As long as you guys have a fusion, not a fusion breed to work with, there should be no problem to order this up. The one I'm building for you, I mean. Have all the parts and everything to do that, so that should not.
Do we have a fusion thing?
That was something that was given to you that you were going to use for the battle bus as but the deal you made with the pencil pushers. So,
Yeah,
yes.
Sam's got it in his love nest. Okay.
You think I have something that big?
Well,
on
actually,
me?
I think that's on one of the Brahmin too. But
Yeah.
it's heavy. It is probably a good 4 feet long by like it's about the size of a railroad tie. So for thickness and length, so I think a railroad tie is a little bit longer than I think that's about 6 feet.
Oh.
Yeah, it's big and it's in a
heavily shielded case.
It's in a heavy. Yeah, it's exactly big radiation symbols on it. So yeah,
that sounds familiar. I feel like Sam's been drooling over something that sounds like that.
Make me a charisma speech roll, both of you, Saval and Miss Gray.
Oh, this will be terrible.
You guys will be fine. Okay. Saval's like both of you, remember about the deal that you made with was it Evan? He provided you the materials that you guys were interested in when you were making the negotiations when the Revolution began in Okawville, the People's Uprising. It's looking around on Pack Brahmin that you have here. You find several small boxes in a bundle, all tied together. That was supposed to go to Donnie also.
Okay, I will untie that and give that to Donnie too.
He stops and he's looking. He's like, reaches. He's insider for both of you. Well, Saval less so than Miss Gray. Miss Gray, you just see a whole bunch of like gears and parts and pistons and rods and so forth in there for Saval. It looks like an armature for kind of like the in Aliens with Drake and the other Vasquez used to hold the light pulse machine guns. So like an armor, like an armature, coming out, that's something that was, they had around their chest, and the weapon, rode on that. So something similar to that. And he starts taking the parts out. He lays them down, and he walks over to a tarp covered bench, flips them over. He flips the tarp off, and you can see laying out across the bench is a scratch-built version of the exoframe that Snake walked in with, and that you do see that hanging there, off against the wall. And he's taking the parts over and he's kind of laying them out where they're supposed to go, and this is perfect. Able to get some of this operational. I don't. Thank you for that. And you can see the tears running down his face. What can I do for you? What do you need from me?
How do you feel about keeping Sam?
Not really into that, but I'm sure he can live in the cupboard underneath the sink if he doesn't eat much. He
Very
just chuckles.
tempting. I mean, him working on this stuff for us is enough, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, this is a fair trade from our perspective.
Okay. Like, okay. And you see his demeanor change, and he's more not being rude, but you can see he's more fixated on working with what you gave him just now. Excuse me, as compared to paying attention to you. So, like, okay. So he's looking at the gears and the parts and everything like that, and you can see him start laying it out and everything like that. He kind of looks up and he's like, "If there's nothing, more, I'd like to start working on this here."
Yep. Yeah, we'll leave him to it.
Okay. Thank you. And with that, you can grab some sort of, like, you've seen Sam wear something similar, puts it on his head, has like different lenses and such, and he starts grabbing some tools and starts going to town. Thing is coming rather quickly. The rudish purple glow of the sun, as vestiges of sunlight burns through the chem clouds in the distance.
I'm gonna head to the ladies' dorm.
Okay. For dropping everything off, turning over the weapon beside the board of the weapon itself, everybody gains 150 XP. Yeah. Well, I said 150. We'll leave it at 150.
Did we get any XP for last session?
I believe so. I didn't post anything. I don't think I posted anything on the.
Oh yeah,
page.
we did.
Yeah.
We did. 19566. That's definitely different than what's in here. Yep.
I think it should be in the chat somewhere. Hold on.
Yeah. No. I. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You said 150.
150. Yes. Unless anybody has anything they'd like to do, you're able to settle in for the night. Men's in the men's quarters, women's in the women's quarters. Sam is where Sam is. Like the other pack Brahmin out of the way, I'll put him behind. Dawn finds you well rested. Think you're a little stiff from the abrasions and such, but you're able to, for you're just like meh, the typical Tuesday, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Besides,
C2 and I kind of found a little bed over here on the side of the building.
yeah, C2's okay. He's every once in a while you'll see him just wander around and he'll look around and merp, and
Wait, did Snake bed down outside?
I believe so.
Okay.
He wanted a private location where he could rest, and found it. Nobody disturbed him.
So in public, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's writing his name on. Even though he can't read, he still writes his name on the wall. So Each one of you gets up, goes through your normal daily routine. So, what is the group doing today? Starting with Miss Gray. Or the ladies, I should say.
So wake up, I'll use facilities, I'll take a shower and everything, and then I'm gonna head to mess hall for breakfast.
Okay.
And next time I see Sam, I'll be sure and tell him that we gave Donnie everything that was on the pack Brahmin.
Okay. Elisa?
I also make my way to the mess hall and kind of caught up with Gray on everything last night. So
Okay. And Steak and Saval.
I assume that I have appeared in the mess hall as well with family.
Bethany had to drop your daughter off at the doctor's office just for a checkup, but the two of you do saunter into the mess hall. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go to the mess hall too.
So you see Sam walk in. Young lady attached to his hip.
I whistle.
I call him Pops.
Oh yeah, Snake got dressed.
I don't know.
And
Snake,
more
did you get dressed?
importantly, what is the GM wearing tonight?
Well, I don't want to take away from Snake, so Snake, at least describe what you're wearing right now.
Oh, big boy, I'm not wearing much at all. I'm still in my loincloth. I mean, why would I spend effort putting clothes on just to go get food?
You go. So Sam apparently no. He's just wearing a winning smile on his loincloth. C2 has his. Since apparently C2 is dressed in the matching loincloth too. Not the same color, but close.
Yeah, it's our
I mean,
pajamas.
it's acceptable for C2. C2's a mole rat.
You know. But all C2 has is a winning smile also, and a monocle. As for myself, well, I'm actually in my in
Winning
my
smile?
boxers. Oh, it's winning smile and nothing but assless chaps. No, sorry, no winning smile, just the assless chaps. I'm wearing my Joe boxers, and I have my sitting here relaxing. It's been a lovely day with the rain going on and off, so it's something to kick back and relax. Well, thank you for asking. The woman that was with Sam walks over with the tray, and she asks if she could sit with the group.
I wave and say, of course.
Okay. She nods and puts the tray down. She's like, sorry, I didn't wave, but if I did that, I probably would have dropped everything that was on the tray.
I laugh.
And she takes a moment to unsling the submachine gun she had riding on her back, lay it on the table so she could sit down properly.
Sam also comes over before long and sits down.
Sam's told me what you guys have seen and experienced. I'm glad to see that you all made it through it unscathed.
For the most part.
I'm a little chafed over here.
Go see Doc. He should be able to fix you up, right as rain.
I'll be fine.
So,
Besides the red dragon, it wasn't anything we couldn't handle.
he nods as you guys are talking back and forth, and she's like, "So, what's it like talking to Joe?"
I look at Snake for this because he's had the most experience talking with Joe.
I mean, I liked it more than who I usually talk to.
Okay.
He was fine. Knowledgeable, personable, pleasant.
We haven't had anybody like that to talk to. Yeah, we haven't encountered anybody like that in our.
Yeah, well, it wasn't to last. But he's fine.
Okay, well that's good. He says, if you guys need any of your weapons serviced or whatnot, please bring them by the armory. Between me and she elbows, Sam. Between me and him, we should be able to, get anything that you have out of sorts fixed.
Is your work better than his?
She kind of, gives you the side eye, Sam, and she's like, and she puts her hand in front of her face. She's like, yeah, I think.
Okay.
He's got a significantly better setup than I do. That's for sure. Workshop here is amazing.
You're just saying that because you're sleeping with her.
I mean, you missed the opportunity to say she has an amazing rack.
Right?
It's not
I
going to
know.
be that crass. But her weapons rack is amazing.
Since when?
Okay, if you want to know, her weapons rack is amazing.
All of a sudden, Sam is like
All the wonderful
debonair.
things on it.
I know.
Yeah.
Guy has a kid, and all of a sudden,
Put my glass down first.
don't know who you are anymore.
Yeah, I look over at
Sam's gotta be
Saul and
respectful
say,
now.
like, do you think he's been, like, kidnapped and this is an imposter?
I think he's been domesticated.
So you might need to, like, poke him and see if he's okay.
The steel plate finally settled into place.
We might need to get him to redecorate.
Are we going to visit Bartelso again? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah, maybe the ghouls have respawned. Um. The answer is yes.
Probably wouldn't get my dorm though.
Yeah,
But
not this version, that's for sure.
But that's a whole other encounter at that point. So, group has the day to do as they see fit. If there's anything, they would like to work on for gear or weapons, anything they want to try to sell. Nobody, both Sally Sue and Saval, can talk to either the doc or go see the quartermaster. Sam, that they have most of what they have gear-wise or weapons and mod-wise is comparable to what you have already. But if there's anything that anybody in particular is looking for,
I want to introduce C2 to Karen. And have a little fun anti-gray time.
Okay. So Bethany takes Miss Gray.
And C2.
You motion for C2 to follow, and C2's like, merp, 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 and kind of looks. He stops, looks at Snake. Merp. Then looks at Miss Gray. Merp, merp, merp. Then goes trundling off. Following Miss Gray. So you guys head over to the Doc's office, Doc's house. So, for the guys and Sally Sue, what are the four of you doing?
What day is it? Would they be in school? Or would the kids be in school?
Yeah. The school is as needed, so there is no on day off day. And keep in mind this is Wasteland School, so school could be hey, here's how you literally what Sam was trying to do. Here's how you disassemble and reassemble a 12-gauge shotgun. Or school could be reading, writing, arithmetic, radiation. The 4 R's.
If the Geiger counter makes this sound,
Run.
turn around and walk away.
Well, I'll go to the school and see if I can be any help.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to the quartermaster. I have some stuff to sell.
Okay. Saval? Okay. So, so, Miss Gray, you and Saval, along with Bethany, walk into the doctor's office.
In C2.
And C2, yes, and C2. C2 trundles in, and he's kind of looking, and he's kind of, they're, just looking at the stuff hanging on the wall, and he's looking around. He's like, merp, merp, merp. It translates to, "You're not going to get me fixed, are you?" Merp, 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 merp.
No.
So, and then he sits there and he plops himself down in the corner, and and right now he's just staring at the cigarette machine.
You guys need to buy him cigarettes.
We are not feeding his habit.
Good older gentleman again, relatively speaking, in his 40s. So come on out, and see, there's a happy baby girl.
Yeah, so I'm
Several
going to
months old.
introduce C2 and Karen to each other.
Okay.
I don't know, I'll tickle C2 under his little armpit.
Okay.
Get him to giggle, see if that will make her giggle. They're kind of the same. They're kind of both these like gelatinous blobs that don't do much. So I feel like they really have a lot in common.
Okay, so you do that, and you see C2, and you watch his little poogie bounce up and down, and then the kid starts being gibberish baby talk, if you will.
And then a loud fart, because it's C2.
Well, yeah, C2 does that, but eventually he just can't help it, and C2 kind of stops, and he's looking around, he's trying to figure out where the noise is coming from, and you can see he's looking up at the everybody standing there. And scratch him again. And he his foot. Bethany takes the baby from the dock and actually sits the baby on the floor. Doc gives her a towel or a piece of cloth to lay down. It's clean, but still, and the kid's sitting there, and he kind of sits there and kind of eventually kind of like topples off to the side, just lays there kind of fussing, and C2 kind of after you stop scratching, he kind of looking around, he's like walks over, and he goes over and kind of starts sniffing the baby. Everybody's kind of just watching. Kind of stops, looks around at the group again. Kind of nudges the baby to roll the baby over to one side. Keeps sniffing some more, and eventually he just sits down and kind of flops on his side too, and just lays there. Kid kind of after a little bit, kind of tries to pull herself up onto C2. Obviously, he's not able to do so, but and C2 kind of just watching the group to see, how they're reacting before he kind of, does anything else. But he seems content, and with the amount of gas being passed, you can't tell which one is doing it at this point in time either.
Okay, so they're just farting happy together. Love it.
Yeah, pretty much. Literally it is, and
That was my goal.
Clear out the clinic with farts.
Sorry?
Clear out the clinic with farts.
Oh yeah, good lord! They clear out the clinic, the family housing, the barracks, the school. I mean, everybody's putting gas masks on. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot in common.
yeah, they both eat, poop, and fart. Yeah. So,
Pretty much.
Sally, you're able to. It's you step into the school and you can see there's kids anywhere from single digits up to and teacher is teaching basic like about crops and plants and so forth. What to look for. If it's brightly colored, and she has some sort of fruit that seems to have thick reddish veins like all through it, and the fruit itself is kind of like a dull like brown. And say that this is bad. You shouldn't. And as compared to like a mutato or something like that. And she takes a knife and she cuts the one fruit with the brownish skin and the red veins, and the knife slices through it. And when she pulls the knife out, you see where the blade cut through, and actually sections of the actual, not only the edge but the blade itself. That it's smoking where the juice of the fruit has actually started to pit the blade.
Oh,
And the
wow.
blade, the fruit itself is sitting on a glass dish. You can see that the sap, the juice, running out into the. The teacher stops, looks up, and he's like, "Oh, it appears we have a guest. Come on in."
I wave.
He waves back to you.
I walk in. I
Oh.
say, "Hey, everyone, just coming to see if I can help."
Oh, well, tell you what. How about Well, he stops and he looks and he pours some water onto the blade to kind of wash the sap and everything off. Or and he's like, "Well, been out there." And he points to the world, the outside. Like, how about sharing some of your stories, things that you've seen, or things that you think young Americans could use when they go out there into the world.
Always stock up on your pencils.
Some of the kids are taking notes, and somebody asks, "But why do we need pencils?"
To throw at things.
They're like, "Oh, everybody's taking writing things down. Pencils. And you're the afternoon spent at least till lunchtime. When all the kids go off for to lunch. Spend your time there, talking with the kids. You're able to, and again, it's been a while, but you're able to remember and share, some of your, beside the pencils and the vroom vroom of the airplane and things that make you, always bounce on sofas.
Don't leave a single town's economy intact.
Yeah.
I do talk about it a little
Wait,
bit.
wave to everybody. It doesn't hurt to be friendly, and may make a new friend. Try to drink as much as you possibly can, all the
Then
time.
I hiccup.
If you see some chems, take those too.
There you go.
Always do chems, kids.
Snake, you walk into the quartermaster store, and the guy, kid there looks up and he's like, "Hey, how's it going? You're the guy that came. Need to buy pants?"
No, I'm good on pants, but I have a couple things here I'd like to sell.
Hey,
So,
so what do you got?
I have 3 machetes and a tire iron.
Hey, he's looking at him. And he's like, "Okay, what else you got?"
I've got a full metal chest piece, and I have here marked it's worth about 30 caps.
Okay.
I also have a full suit of heavy leather armor that I've got marked at about 100 caps. I have a single leather piece, leg piece. It's treated and cushioned. I don't have a price for it.
That's a lot of successes.
Mm-hmm.
It leather treated, and what was the other part? I'm sorry.
Treated and cushioned.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay.
Well, let's start with that. What would he give me for that?
At the machetes, fire iron. He just passes that right back to you.
Okay. But you said he is interested in the machetes?
Yes, he'll give you 15 caps each.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right.
Chest piece.
You should give the tire iron to Karen.
Her first tire
Right.
iron. He'll take the leg piece of there.
Okay.
Yeah. He'll give you 40 for the leg piece.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
The armor and the other part that he thanks you, but no, there's nobody here. Everybody here has armor of some shape or sort. So there'll be nobody here to buy it, and doesn't know if he could even make the money back by selling it to one of the caravans when they come through.
Okay.
But
right.
this, if you got anything more like that, and he points at the leg piece, that's worth it.
I do. I have a couple. Well, let's keep going. I have a couple submachine guns here.
Okay.
9mm submachine guns.
Very different.
And they have an advanced receiver mod.
Saval, do you still have your bow? Crossbow. Okay. $74. Write that down. Hold on. Sorry, I don't have that particular. He's looking at the submachine guns. Okay. Yes. Take both of those off your hands.
Oh, I have 4.
Oh, well, they'll take 2.
Okay. How much?
That's what I'm looking for. I'm trying to find the.
Per the book, the submachine gun's 109, but with rolls like that, I'm assuming he's giving significantly less.
He is. I just have to. I'm just trying to find my. There you go. Wasteland necessities. He'll give you 85 apiece
Okay.
for each of the subguns. He only takes the 2.
Okay.
Off to the side.
Okay. That's good enough for now.
He thanks you.
Oh, and I asked
And
him.
again, he says, "I'm sorry. Go ahead."
Do you have any cigarettes or Grognet magazines?
He's looking behind the counter, and he comes up with a carton of menthols.
Ooh, I haven't had one of those in a while.
It is opened on one side. He kind of shakes and taps it out. There are 5 packs left inside. 5 whole packs.
How many in a pack? 10?
12.
12. Okay. All right.
Gotta be kidding me. Cigarettes are not on. Gotta be. There we go. So, pack of cigarettes are. Pack of cigarettes, 12. Like I said, 12. They go for. He sells them to you at 45 apiece.
45, and he had 5 of them?
5, yes.
Okay. I lose all the money that I just got back.
Okay.
230s.
Well,
that still gives me slightly more than what I had. Okay. Cool. Do the menthols have any benefit to them?
They're minty fresh.
so
I was just thinking that.
they increase the difficulty of all endurance tests by 1 for 1 scene, but they will heal you your rad. These are not addictive.
Okay.
Cigarettes by default are addictive for whatever reason. The menthol is like Miss Gray said, is minty fresh, so it kind of is soothing.
Okay. So increases endurance checks, decreases radiation.
Radiation by 1.
I just want to point out with how heavy Snake and C2 smoke, should they have been making addiction rolls?
Yes, I should have. I haven't. That's on me.
I don't even think we need to. Let's say that they're probably addicted.
Oh, I'm sure they are. Given the fact, yes, like you just said, what's as Sam described. Yes, I'm pretty sure that they are. They get the shakes every once in a while.
Even without the cigarette. Okay. All right. Cool. Well, for how much radiation I go through, that will serve me well.
Okay.
My next dip in a radiation vat will be just fine.
Yeah.
You say right now. I'm still
Mhm.
surprised you haven't turned into a Google.
Oh, and any Grognight magazines?
No, sorry, we have no magazines at all. They go. If we get anything in, they go pretty quick.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks.
I do have this, and he shows you it. Well, let's see. Let me. Shows you a small figurine with the head on a. Looks like it's a spring. Like we do have these.
A bobblehead?
Bobblehead, yep.
Very important items in Fallout. Just want to point that out.
Hey, what does it do? Like it just sits there?
And bubbles.
The baubles. Yeah, I mean,
Who does it look like?
let's
Is it a Vault-Tec one? It doesn't
is.
look like Vault Boy.
It does.
Which one then?
Ah,
Is he toting a big gun? Is he trying to
No.
snipe at something? What's going on?
Warpy's really excited about this.
Does he have a 4-leaf clover?
Yeah.
In a green top hat.
you know what? Just for that, I'm going to go out to the Bethesda site now. So I was just going with the generic one, but that's it.
Everybody watching, you can send your gifts to Warpy at Warpy Land.
Well, let's say if you want to make any donations for Warpy's mental health, we could probably arrange that too.
I was just hoping he'd get flooded with Fallout bobbleheads.
I mean, he needs mental help.
He needs mental
I
health.
mean, if you go onto the Bethesda website, they're only about $15. So
Do you have them all?
no.
Most?
No, but
It's
he
my
will.
equipment.
Send your Fallout bobbleheads to Warpy at Warpy Land.
Yeah.
Warpyville, Warpy State.
Now, this one is looks like the bobblehead is running.
Agility. Okay.
No.
What does? So you're showing me a bobblehead that looks like it's running somewhere. Does it do anything?
Well, in game terms, it does this, and he taps in, and you can see the head kind of bouncing around, and it looks like it's nodding at you or shaking its head at you. In game terms, it allows you to do a check for that particular aspect. So in this case, this would be as Bev said, it would be for agility. So it would allow you to re-roll that agility check. The luck one is the most rarest one. The luck one, if you actually find it, and that that one actually does have like a green leprechaun's type of hat on, and 4-leaf clover. That will actually give you a point of luck back once per session.
Okay.
This one here is just giving you a
Reroll on agility. How much is it?
for you. He's like say 250.
50. I don't have 250 left. But I do still have a. Well, here's an aluminum bat. It's not the one that I use. It's the next one that I've got.
He's looking. Tell you what. I'll take the other 2 submachine guns and that suit of armor. The full suit of armor. I'll give you 20 caps back, and I'll throw it that's because that's. I'll give you 10 caps back and the bobblehead.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. So he hands you the bobblehead. He
Okay.
hands you the caps. No, that's not the one. Agility is the guy standing on one finger. Which one's that then? Running. Yeah, endurance is the one that's running.
Oh, okay. Well, what does that one do?
Same thing. It allows you to re-roll an endurance test.
That's even better for me. Okay.
Take a screenshot of that.
Is this once per scene or once per session or?
I will tell you that in a minute. a screenshot. Sorry, but that's
Okay. Cigarettes and a bobblehead. Okay.
reroll. You can reroll a single d20 on a check of the corresponding type, which in this case is endurance once per session. So once per scene, once per night.
Of all the weird things to find in the wasteland, or in a general store in the wasteland.
Okay. Pip-Boy bobblehead. Got it.
Yeah.
Nice doing business with you. Thanks for bringing that up. If you have anything else unique, let me know.
Oh, definitely. These are. You find anything Vault-Tec related. He shows you on the bottom. He stops and he realizes that who he's talking to. When you talk to the others, show them this bobblehead. You know, they'll understand that. They want to look for, and he points at the base that it's sitting on, and he flips it over, and he points at the bottom of the base. He said, "Show them this." And they should be able to tell you where you might be able to find other ones. They are rare, so you know, but you know, to collect them all is pretty, you know, pretty good. Each one, yeah, they look cool. You know?
Okay. Yeah, they do look cool. And Snake is starting to bob his head a little bit like the bobblehead.
Okay.
Oh god, all that hard work I've put into educating C2. I fear it's about to go down the drain.
As Snake and C2 walk into the room and they're bobbing their head like Night at the Roxbury.
Yeah. Oh, I totally gotta get C2 onto this. And we meet back up.
Yeah. That's Sam Saval. You're able to wrong book. You do see several of the Glen Meadows people walking around with crossbows. If you wish to sell yours, you have the opportunity to do so, because apparently there's a need for them. Or if you're looking to get yours audit, you have the opportunity to do that too. Don't know if it has anything at all, and that's just it's yours. You switched over to the silenced laser rifle, so. So there are. Let's see. Let's make sure. And this is something that you do have to fire two-handed. So let's go. Let's make sure we have my stats match you. The stats for that. They have iron sights, a glowing sight. Okay, so crossbow, and you tell me what you have. I have damage dice of 5. Okay, suppressed two-handed and slow load, which means you only fire. It only has a rate of fire it's a rate of fire of 0, so you have to reload fire. This has a rate of 1. Okay, so you do have something modified to it.
Repeating frame looks like it could be on there.
So you can have iron sights increases the range by 1, glowing sights increases the range by 1, and you gain accurate, which means you can actually aim with it. Yep, you can get a repeating frame, which increases the rate of fire by 1, and also removes the slow load. So do you want the sight and the frame, or one or the other, or? Okay, so for them to do it for you, it'll be 75 caps. And obviously, you got to leave the weapon with them, and we'll take care of it for you. And they also have. So they also have crossbow bolts, different kinds. They have armor piercing, which gains the piercing 1 ability. They have. Well, if you want to go all Dukes of Hazards, they have explosive bolts. Combat die goes up by 2, adds blast, but the weapon becomes inaccurate. So even with the scope, you lose the accuracy by if you put the glowing lights onto it. Can get poisoned, which increases the combat die by 1, and gains does persistent poison damage. That's they have a specialty one. Oh, the guy's showing you. Probably the equivalent of maybe like a D-cell battery attached to the end. Takes it, he unscrews it, and he shakes it, and he hears stuff rattling around inside. And he gently pries the lid off and pours it out. And you can see that there are tiny slivers of metal, almost like need a little bit of a cutout on the end. Only have 2 of these, but they will, when they hit or when they detonate, they spread out, almost like a shotgun, almost like a silent shotgun. He's trying to really sell it up to you. And so they gain spread and piercing. They gain spread and piercing 1. So. Of course, why would it be there? Oh, there we go. Asking for 12 caps apiece. 24 caps total. Jot those 2. Jot those 2 down. The only 2 that he has. And obviously they are completely different. So, fortunately, he's not able to sell or buy much off of you. He was, just cleaned out a little bit ago. One of your companions, the guy walking around with no clothes on. No. But still, pleasure doing business with you. Is there anything else the group would like to do? I mean, Miss Gray, you and Bethany are, spending time together with, little Karen. Bethany kind of picked the baby up, kind of sat him on C2's back, and C2's kind of, trundling around. The baby's kind of just sitting there blurbling along. And eventually, the kid starts to slip. C2 kind of rolls to catch him. Unfortunately, that's enough to set him off, so he starts crying. She picks him up and kind of, she excuses herself to go change him and kind of, welcome back, Eddie. And then, walking away. You find yourself sitting there with the doc.
And should go learn how to change a diaper.
Yeah, eventually you did say you showed up there, so
Yeah.
yeah. You two kind of
Yeah,
walk
because the
arm
only
in
other
arm.
place that Sam would end up in is the armory to see if he could do any upgrades to his own weapons. But yeah,
What are you trying to do,
more
if anything at all?
I think we had discussed at some point some upgrades for Hecate. I can't remember what they or no, I've got them noted. Yes, I actually noted. Actually, no, I didn't note these. I noted ones for that I wanted to get some. Crap. That's the Wanderer's supplement. That's the anti-material.
Yep.
Hold on. One of the main things I wanted to do was see if I could get some ammunition, particularly shotgun shells and 50 cal bullets. But let's see, was there anything that I wanted to put on here? That's Assaultron heads. Don't have one of those. Yes, if we ever come across an Assaultron, leave its head intact. The only thing I can think of that I might want to put on there is a suppressor, but
So Bethany's able to provide you with the shotgun shells. Cost is that's in the.
hold on. Shotgun shells is cost based on what's in the book, or
Yeah, cost based what's on the book, so she.
okay.
Shotgun shell. 3 caps apiece.
And how many are
How
there?
many are you looking to get?
Hold on. 20. So, what,
She hands you a box of shotgun shells.
okay.
That is no problem. The 50 cal rounds.
Those might be a bit more exotic.
Rooting around and.
Yeah, because I know that those are considered to be rare. If I could find the rarity table.
She's digging around. She pulls out a couple ammo tins or ammo cases, down. She's pulls it out. Let's see. That gives me 50 cal ball ammunition.
Yeah, that didn't work.
That's not it. So. Hero rifle. There we go. Minute. Sorry, folks. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, let's grab a couple. Give everybody a couple of minutes to legs and such.
Rarity table is on 91. I finally decided to just bite the bullet and look at the index. Looks like 50 cals are 4 a pop. And they're a rare.
they back, or are we still waiting?
We're all back.
I'm here.
So as we went on break, I located the information for the 50 cal ammo. Sam was looking to purchase. Bethany was able to provide him with 4 standard rounds and 1 explosive tip round. Anything else the group looking to do for over the course of today?
Do they have any 10 millimeter ammo?
They do. They have a small quantity. How much do you wish to purchase?
How much do they have?
They can provide you with 20 rounds.
How much for 20 rounds?
40 caps.
Yes, I'll do that.
Okay. Very limited amount. They have 7 rounds. We'll say 20 caps also. Seven rounds, yes.
Mine was 20 caps. How many rounds? Sorry.
It was 40 caps for 20 rounds.
Okay. Okay, great. That's all I needed.
Okay. So you looking to do anything?
Nope, I have plenty of shotgun shells on me currently, and I'm good.
Okay. You're able to collect your crossbow from the armory the next day, Saval. Have it as good as new. They set you up with a couple targets. You're able to test fire them and test, make sure adjust the sight to your specifications. They have another silent weapon. Utilize should you need it. Yeah. How long does the group wish to remain within Glen Meadows?
It's up to Sam, I think, a little bit. When did
Yep.
you want to leave his kid?
What does baby daddy want?
I feel like any answer I make is going to be a bad one unless I say I want to stay.
You're not allowed to stay.
I know.
Wait, no, we can. What are you talking about? Of
Nope,
course he can stay.
not allowed.
Doesn't have to.
Yeah, he does.
You forget that we were triplets.
One of our snipers.
Oh no, I didn't forget anything at all.
So, Sam,
Set the pace. I'll work with you guys.
I feel like it would be rude to stay less than a week, maybe. I mean, why are you putting the decision on
I mean,
me?
if that's what you put in the custody agreement, that's fine. 1 week every summer.
Now I feel really bad. 3 years.
Well, so if where are we
14
going?
years.
Are we going to go to Minton or
88
Germantown?
years.
Hey, give me a minute. Let me. It's going to be at least 18 years before you get out of that one. But yeah. Okay, let's see. Macro map. There we go. Yes. Okay.
My point is, theoretically, we will come back through here. Aaron's daddy.
If you head directly to Germantown, then yes, that would be on the way back. If you head to Minton, you would be. I know talk was heading to make sure the prison bus was still there. I don't think that's possible in game terms, Sam. That 8,043 years. But hey, you can always try. Find a cryo chamber and freeze dry yourself.
I don't think that was the intention, but okay.
Heading back to Minton. Yes, you could Minton, prison bus, Minton, back over here and then head back around, hitting the one abandoned camp if you so desire. On the
Why
travel
are
up.
we heading back to Mountain again?
Back on the battle bus, right?
Yeah, check out the battle bus, but at the same time, most of our objectives are in Germantown.
Correct. Yeah, well, I think we were going to come here, see if we could gather any new info that may give us other reasons to go to Mineton. But I don't think we've really heard anything.
The only thing we've heard is that they're still recovering, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've sent one caravan down, loaded with scraps and parts and so forth, and they've taken a small amount of weapons and some other gear back with them. And again, everybody's kind of waiting for the merchants to get back out there. And you guys know, based upon your knowledge, that things were kind of disrupted because of what happened in Oakhallville. That and the Powder Monks have to, once they get their act together, they'll be able to start shipping some more. And the group did not stop at the Powder Monks settlement.
No, we were
It was
maybe
way-
going to
we-
stop on our way back.
Okay.
So we want to go to Germantown?
Yep.
I think that was
Sounds
the
What I'm
plan.
hearing?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the trip length to Germantown?
If you head from where you're at to the prison bus, and then if assuming that you hit whether or not you hit the abandoned camps or not, that's optional. Figure about 10 days.
So we'll probably be back here in less than a month, Sam.
Yeah,
Yeah, probably.
that seems a little accurate.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
If that helps you feel better about having to leave, we'll
yeah.
be back.
And I've come up with another justification for the battle bus. If we get the battle bus up and running, it means travel times go way, way down, and suddenly we're able to make more visits to Glen Meadows.
Yes.
There you go. Okay.
So we can finalize a list of components that we still need for the battle bus.
Okay. So let's do that.
Okay.
So I'm thinking like a week here. Definitely need to make sure we get food.
Yep.
For the trip.
I think we have about 30 days left.
Let me look at that. That is, you have right now. You have 5 more uses. Okay, so you got 9, 10, 26 days. You have 26 days worth of food.
I'll be plenty.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, a week should be enough to take care of Snake's chafing.
Yeah.
I'm already chafe free.
May or may not have found some still small some tiny fire ants that were around his sleeping area.
Okay, so for the rest of you, the week goes kind of slow. For Sam, even though he making the most of every moment with his daughter, it seems like he blinks and the week is over. So, surprisingly, Henry has not once come to talk to you at all.
Doesn't come to talk to Sam.
Hasn't come to talk to Sam at all. Correct.
Yeah, I have no clue what I'd even say.
Hi, Grandpa.
But I go to talk to Henry because I feel that it's probably important.
Yeah, go tell him, you enjoyed doing his daughter.
I feel like that'll just get me shot.
That's the plan.
Let's find out.
I knew that conversation was going to go that route. I'm like, just like, oh.
Let's
Okay.
find out.
So, you find Henry sitting in his office. Let's switch back over off this map back to. So the one of the aides or whatnot, let you in, and he looks up, looks at you, gestures to the chair. Finally screwed up enough courage to come see me.
Yes, sir. I just stand there, stock still, waiting for him to say something. I know how Captain Smash
He
works.
eventually stops and he puts down whatever he's reading, looking at you. He's like, he sighs, pinches the bridge of his nose, and he's just looking at you and he's like, "Do you make her happy?"
I can't say that I'll always make her happy, but I intend on trying, sir.
And he's looking at you. That's all. All father can ask sometime in this world.
I just know that despite me talking, I'm just still standing there in front of what I assume is his desk, just staring at a spot over his head. I am not moving.
Like, that's the best that a father can ask for in this world, to make sure his son or his daughter is happy. Now, looking at you is that now you got the added responsibility of not only making her happy, making your daughter make sure that she still has a dad to come back to.
Yes, sir. Always intended to come back here to settle down, but never expected to have a kid this soon.
Well, he just chuckles at that and said, "I don't think the wasteland gives a flying fuck what you think or what you want." So
I've learned that the hard way,
things just
sir.
happen. So
Learned that the hard way, sir.
Yep. Gets up and he walks over and he stands in front of you. He stands off to the side. He holds out his hand.
I shake it.
Okay. He leans in close. And if I find out that you don't make her happy, there ain't a place on this world that you'll be able to hide. With
Understood.
that, he kind of pats you on the back. Okay.
I quickly back out of the room.
He just stands there. He's just watching you.
You should wave.
I about face and march straight out the door.
For some reason, the cavalier way that he said it is kind of sends a bit of a shiver through your spine.
Yep. Sam better have every intention of coming back here and soon.
Huh?
Battle bus is now top priority.
Group gathers up everything, reload, repack the Brahmins, and you're getting all ready to leave. Everybody's at the front gate, and Snake, you're looking around and you see no sign of C2.
Wait, guys,
Uh-oh.
where's C2? Well, he was with you guys last time we went to Duck's house.
He was with us a week ago. What have you two been doing all week?
Why didn't you guys? You left him there a week ago.
You've been with him since then.
I don't think so.
I think he was rubbing the chafing moisturizer all over body parts you couldn't reach.
He didn't rub anything on me, for the record.
Uh-huh. Not what I saw through the men's dormitory window.
Then why is the ointment tin empty?
You said you're chafe-free.
Hmm.
Also,
Yeah.
you're still not wearing any clothes.
I am wearing clothes. What are you talking about?
You're just wearing a loincloth. You never put on any clothes.
Don't you worry. Oh, I've got clothes on. Don't you worry.
The loincloth doesn't count.
So where's C2?
Yeah, let's get back to what really matters here.
Yes, why have you lost your son yet again?
I didn't lose him. What did you guys do to him?
We did nothing. He's your kid.
I look at Sam and I say, "Did you leave his radio on?"
Now here's the thing about that radio. It doesn't actually work.
Useless.
C2 just likes to play with it.
Um,
Did
Well-
you check by the Squircle?
we need to go and find C2.
Is he by the
Okay.
Squircle?
Near the baby?
For all we know, he's probably knocking someone up.
I don't think biology
There's
works
another-
like that.
Mole rat here.
We're gonna have to come back just for his children too.
C3,
I don't
Four and
think
five.
biology works like that.
C4, C5,
Sam's
C2 the
not
second,
computing.
C2 junior.
Yeah, let's go and find C2. Gee.
E3PO, nice ball.
You guys scour the camp and you find C2. Let's actually put C2 on the map. Centaur. Oh, I have a C2. There we go. All right. That's
Aw.
not. I know there's another C2. You find C2 sitting by the guard shack in the back.
C2, what are you doing over here?
He is falling on a bone. Actually stripping the ragged, unbleached flesh off of the bone still.
Where'd you find that?
He looks up. He looks up, kind of startled. Not real. Finally realizing that you're there, and he's like, burp, 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 burp. And he puts the bone down, and he trundles out, and he walks up the hill.
Okay, well, I'll follow him and see what's up here.
gonna be very
So
much out of breath.
you get. I'm sorry. What was that?
He's gonna be very much out of breath when he gets to the top.
He is kind of. He gets like halfway up, and he stops and he raises the poogie up, and he's huffing and puffing. Takes a drag on the cigarette and keeps on going.
Smoker lungs. Yeah.
He gets to the top, and you can see that there is remnants of a body laying there. Man or woman, you have no idea how to tell. They were lying in a shallow dugout, looking down into the encampment or into the settlement. He
I've
goes
had-
over and he kind of works on and kind of breaks another piece of rotting flesh bone out and starts gnawing on that.
I patched a rifle.
Yes, Cyclops.
Ask your baby mama if they're missing anybody in the settlement. There might have been a spy up here.
Am I with Bethany?
Yeah, she was seeing you off. Actually, there's a decent turnout. Everybody kind of scattered just now to find C2. The baby's there with you, so the C2 wasn't with the baby, so that kind of got everybody kind of concerned.
Is there anybody missing in the settlement other than C2, of course?
She kind of turns and looks at her dad, and he reaches over to grab a radio, and you hear him talking to people and asking everybody to report in, and he's like, looks up and he's like, "No, everybody's here."
Jake, can you be more specific? What did you find?
Tell baby mama's father to come up here and take a look.
Snake refuses to give any details. He says that you need to come see what he found.
Okay. About a half a dozen men and women, join him. They're kitted out, not as combat armor. So they've got a little bit of beef when they head out. And from when you approached the encampment and that there were guards or dugouts out there for the guards to hidey holes and to get in so that they wouldn't be observed. You also know that there's at least a couple of guard towers on the actual walls themselves. But you head out and you head up the stairs, or not up the stairs. You head up the other side of the hill. There's a rough cut path leading up, and you can see Snake standing there. No sign of C2. So you crest the hill. And laying in the this shallow cut dugout, there's a body that's been there for a little bit of time. From the smell, C2 just is in there gnawing on a piece of arm bone, ragged pieces of flesh being stripped off.
You have any idea what's going on here?
He looks and he's whatever. And Saval, make me a medicine intelligence roll. Anybody with medicine can make a roll too. Does Yep, it's a dead body.
Well, I know that.
Sally, whoever or whatever did this, it from what you can see, everything on their back has been pretty much just flensed off, stripped down to bone and bone and muscle. It had to be fast because nobody heard anything. There was no scream or anything like that. And the body's been rotting here in the sun for several days. The Allie, make me one more roll. Same deal. Medicine, intelligence. Okay. The neck was broken too, but almost like curb stomp type of broken in the sense that something, something hit the back of the neck between that exposed area and shattered the vertebrae, the spine, in one shot. I'm like, yep, it's a dead body. Oh look, a butterfly.
Ooh. Butterfly.
Way to impress the family there, Sam.
No. He looks at Henry's looking at the dugout, and there's no.
Was this dugout yours,
No.
Henry? So somebody came up, dug out a hole here on the hill, overlooking your settlement. Now it's dead, and you had nothing to do with any of it.
No. We send patrols out. 3 or 4 man patrols. They and he's talking to some of the people that are with him, and none of them have any recollection of seeing anything out of the ordinary here.
At a minimum, I think this indicates your security is not good enough.
He agrees. He agrees. You find laying a short distance away, covered in dust and sand, but it's blood stained. A lightweight tarp.
It's a tarp.
Covering, laying there. The dust and the ash, blown across. In some cases, the revitalization of the land actually growing through some of the holes in it. A couple days, you never would have known it would have been there. It would have been, absorbed back into nature. No markings or anything like that. There's no sign of. The corpse has a 10mm pistol. There's shattered remnants. Looks like it's embedded into the rib cage of a pair of binoculars, and a brushed metal canteen.
Anybody taking that stuff?
Just go back to the settlement.
I'm content to let the settlement have anything that we find on the body.
Somebody snags the 10 mil. Pats the body, reluctantly, pats the body down with some trepidation. I shouldn't say reluctantly. Snagging a couple extra rounds. There is nothing else there. Sam and Saval, make me a science intelligence roll.
Much better.
I like science. I like pizza.
Potatoes.
Saval? There you go. Okay. The two of you.
I have so many ideas that the light bulb in Snake's helmet suddenly shatters.
So you find person that was here had a radio. You don't find the radio. Find the remnants of the headset embedded into the shattered skull. Almost like something, not quite face palm, but the kind of like grabbed the head and squeezed it in type of deal.
I'm having Gregor Clegane and Oberyn Martell vibes.
Hmm. Yep.
You guys look around. You can spend the next couple minutes scouring the area, and you don't find any other dugouts or anything like that, or anything that where there would have been. But definitely, Snake his assessment is somebody's been here. They've been keeping an eye on you. Who knows for how long?
And who knows what killed them?
That's the other thing. Miss Gray, make me a survival perception test.
Okay.
So you're looking and you think, but you can't be certain. You think that you found tracks, very large footprint, or a large footprint. I'm sorry, that hasn't been filled in with the ash and the dust blowing around, or overgrown with resurgent plants. It's larger than, and again, basing it upon the biggest thing that you've seen so far, which is the super mutant. It's slightly bigger than that of the biggest the super mutants that you encountered. It is only 4 toes. Doesn't seem to be. You can't tell if it's clawed, it's scaled, it's whatever it is. But you do see that there. But again, you can point it out, but you're not 100% certain of what it is. Or it could just be a funny looking depression in the ground. That's the the uncertainty. How you share that information is up to you.
Yes, I'll share that information with the group. So we think this could be what stepped on this person, snapped its neck. No.
Everybody everybody with it can make a medicine intelligence roll.
It's my opportunity to redeem myself. Hey!
Potatoes have no bones. Yes. Aliso agrees. Snake agrees. Caval definitely agrees.
Ice cream also has no bones.
I asked Bethany.
And Taco Cat is Taco Cat spelled backwards.
I think I might have a better chance asking her.
Taco spelled backwards is O-Cat. Yes, it is.
No, Taco Cat spelled backwards is Taco Cat.
I'm not very smart.
Sam, you can. I mean, it could be possible. And whatever shredded its back, it's. I mean, it could be a super mutant. It could be, that footprint could be that. There's,
Could be any number of wasteland creatures.
Well, yes, anything's possible. But you don't see the ground disturbed anywhere else other than this spot here. That if it wasn't for the fact that the tarp that was on it blew off or was torn off, and this happened during the week when you guys were spending doing the normal things that you guys were doing. So this is body's relatively fresh, rotting but still relatively fresh.
This is our mystery sniper. I doubt it.
Yeah, we don't think it's that sniper that's been following us, right?
No, that's
that person wouldn't have gotten stepped on.
Maybe I should have been wearing clothes.
Yeah, maybe they were just memorized by your buttocks.
Or traumatized.
Maybe that just made their head pop off.
Maybe their head imploded because they saw a snake in a loincloth.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. I should keep doing it.
Your physique is mind blowing.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Negative.
But yeah, we'll definitely share all this info with the settlement because they need to know that there's something nearby.
So,
Oh, I wonder if this is something from the Enchanted Forest or whatever that's encroaching.
That could have been what killed him.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay. I thought you meant it was a human from the Enchanted Force. I'm like, I doubt it's the Enchanted Force. We all know that that's Phoenix's eventual portal to rope us into a Pathfinder D&D campaign. Something like that.
that's a possibility too. Yes. But you do remember, other than Sam, you do remember Henry talking to the group about the forest and something living in there. Barring a otherwise lovely send off, the group finds themselves with another mystery.
I feel like the Wasteland has way too many of those.
It does.
Yeah, I feel like for every one we solve, 3 or 4 more appear.
That's how we've made it to 87 sessions, I think.
Yeah.
Is this session 87? Okay.
6. I thought it was 86 last time. Gotcha.
Like the Scooby Gang.
It turns out all the monsters were working together.
I would have got away with it. Once the meddling kids in C2 too. So
And C2's now in T2 for some reason. C2's 2-2.
C2. Looking around, the Henry has got people up here, more people up here now coming up, just to scour the general area. Talking to one of his second in command to get more increase the patrols within the area to check the entire. Well, this spot here offered the best vantage point over the wall to look inside. The person still looking wouldn't be able to see, like the family housing and the workshop area, but they'd be able to see farther in. It could have been, like you guys said, it could have been somebody observing for the group and then reporting back to somebody. But Henry also said that he hasn't heard anything, on the radio. So who knows? The group head back in the encampment, or they stay up here longer to look around. You guys do.
No, I mean, I think we need to go. We still need to.
Yeah, I don't think there's
Right.
anything else to see here.
Yeah.
Okay, so you head back down. Bethany gives you, Bethany, you and Sam, family hug.
Get a room.
I promise to return, and I promise that I'll try to make sure I return sooner.
I say he probably won't make it.
I make no such promises.
I glare at Snake.
Miracle, he's still alive now.
C2 just walks by, he shrugs his shoulders and burp.
Oh, did you tell her about your ghoul porn?
I brandish a gun at Snake and say, time to leave.
She kind of just, what?
Hi.
I'm like, I'm out of here.
Ask him about it next time.
Peace out.
He drops the mic, walks away. Yeah. Switch over to the macro map.
We're going to the prison bus first.
Yeah,
Folks.
so that way we could get a better idea of what we still need for it to get it up and running again.
Okay.
Move you guys over to there. I'm assuming you guys are sticking with the canned food, which has no penalty or no bonus.
Yeah.
Finish that up first. Okay. Up to that. Oops.
How many days?
You have 6 days left of canned food.
6 days left.
Oh, 2 days to get there. So skirting the end. You guys head out. The night is lit. More so from the Enchanted Forest. You can see that there are blues of every vivid blue, some reds going through the plants. You can see vines have snaked up and around several of the buildings that are there. And you've seen the flying things on the way in. Well, when you left Joe's, I'm sorry, to go to Glen Meadows.
Yeah.
2 days have passed. Miss Gray, you remember the path back to get to the highway to where the bus was. You can see the bus is partially buried. Say maybe up to the windows on one side. You remember where the hatch was underneath that you can dig a hole through. C2 assist to climb up inside.
And this time I don't get knocked out when we go in,
No,
right?
correct. All the pneumatic dart guns or syringers have been long since disabled.
Except the one I have.
Except for one that Sally Sue is carrying, correct. So, how long do you stay at the bus to ascertain what needs to be done?
How long would it take to just do a quick list of everything we need of just some basic items to get it back up and running?
Bare bones minimum a full day.
Are we willing to stay a full day, or do we want to move on? Now that we've just confirmed that it's still here.
As long as we have enough food.
Yeah, that's fine. We need a list. We're going to Germantown. It would be good to know if there's anything we need.
Yeah, okay. Let's take a day to figure out everything that we still need for it.
I'll deduct the food. Okay. So looking at the battle bus, grabbing a spade and shoveling some of the dust there, the dirt and everything that's piled up against it from the wind, from the storms and everything. Most obvious thing, all new tires. So you have those at the MERP in Bartelso,
Right.
where you left the dogs, the hounds, the wasteland hounds.
Right.
Diffusion battery, which you're carrying on one of the 2-pack Brahmin.
Right. That is far too valuable to actually leave anywhere.
You would have to either repair or replace the Securitron or the Robotron. That is the driver. If you're replacing the Robotron with yourself, with a human driver, obviously somebody that's got to learn how to drive.
I'll
Leave that
do
stay.
it.
So,
I'm going to repair the Securitron.
okay. So, what you need for that, you're not exactly sure. That's more than a day's just to tear it apart, so to speak.
Yeah, I'll just be able to look out for robot components I could use for that.
Okay.
Be because I get the feeling that if Snake drives this thing, we're immediately going to be going over a cliff. Yep, in which case, all that hard work, gone down the tubes.
Anybody who wishes to make me a repair intelligence roll.
I'll pass on that one.
Because I'm pretty sure the only one who actually has any skill in piloting is Sam.
I think Snake does.
Yes, but Snake also has pretty terrible,
Snake just kind of kicks the tires. Yeah, we'll need new ones.
really, you don't say. Whatever gave you that idea?
Hello, puppers. Hello, puppers.
Guilty.
Oh. Okay. We'll go out, don't worry. So looking okay. Sally Sue, you notice that some of the electrical wiring, specifically what was controlling the automated defenses inside for if the prisoners rioted or tried to act up, is heavily damaged.
Uh-oh.
So you'll need components to replace the wiring. I'll go along, and when we get together next, but I'll use the Wanderer's Guide for the vehicle, and I will figure all that out for everybody. Try to give you a basic idea, at least as to capstone versus non-capstone items that you may or may not need.
Got it. Thanks.
So make things a little easier.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I will have that written up and worked on for you, and I'll make myself a note. And this will only be like I said, this will be a rough estimate. I mean, you know the three major things that you need is to figure out who or what is driving, getting the power cell in, or getting the fusion
Not
battery
Snake.
in, not Snake, and then getting the tires from the Mew. No, not Mew. Sorry, from the MERP down to here. So, and that gives you also the ability to visit Sal. So.
We're also going to figure out how to take the Brahmin with us.
They could always pull the bus.
Yeah, if we could get it up and running. Although the bus might be a bit heavy for them.
Wait, we could give them Psycho.
Somebody smack him.
With the Brahmin?
Or pull a trailer along.
No. But, okay, so we got a plan of action. I will, like I said, I'll provide the group with that information. And again, this is lightly armored, so it's got some, it survived the entire,
The apocalypse in plus 200 years.
and other than some, very minor superficial damage, it's up. Yeah, it's capable of going on.
We're also going to want to reprogram the Securitron at the very least, because I get the feeling that a prison Securitron isn't going to be particularly friendly.
No, it's
So yeah, good thing I'm starting to take levels in robotics expert and tinkerer.
yeah. Okay. Yep, I have. Okay, so I got my homework. Guys, will need to also let me know where we're heading to after that. Are we heading from the battle bus directly to Germantown? Or are we heading over to? Are we looking to gather the parts to bring back and then head to Germantown?
That could be a plan.
Yeah.
It's looking
then there's
it's looking for food is the reason. Like I said, you had enough to go from Glen Meadows to Germantown with a little side, with some side
Right.
side travel.
And we're going to, and once we get to Germantown, we're going to have a number of things that we need to do.
Correct. Trailer. You have options for trailers.
Right.
Don't know. I'd have to figure out too.
Yeah, and we're at the very least we could try to refit. Well, no, the Brahmin carts aren't really big enough to carry a Brahmin.
No, that's. You would end up giving that up, if you will.
Yeah, or cannibalizing it for scrap.
Correct. Okay. I got my homework to do.
I would say that we want to keep at least one of the Brahmin, just so that way we have a steady supply of Brahmin milk.
I wouldn't see you guys giving up.
Okay.
Good and plenty, or milk dud.
Yeah, Milk Dud's the OG, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. So, Sam, are you feeling well enough to give us the outro?
Yep. This issue of As the Wasteland Burns was brought to you by Galaxy News Radio. And a quick PSA before we log off for the night. Don't do drugs, kids. Despite what Sally
Drugs
Sue
are bad,
says.
okay?
Butt plugs.
Butt plugs.